This video is brought to you by Ravenscraft Realty of Northeast Missouri.
Came back over to Illinois, replaced the starter solenoid, new battery cables, new battery on this power unit. Now the real question is going to be, is it going to start now? I don't know if I can do this with two hands or not. So, what does that mean? I'm not sure. Okay, maybe we haven't figured it out. I took the actual switch out right there. You can see about replacing that because it did start up just fine where I shorted across the starter, so that tells me the starter solenoid works fine now. Battery is good. We have a problem with getting power to tell the starter to turn on. So, find this part, fix her back up, and should be good to go. Hauling corn today, out of the overhead bin. Filling up, out over here, up the leg, and all that good stuff. It doesn't take very long pulling out of the overhead bin. Just a question of how far you want to open it up. Probably, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes or so to get a half load. So you can do it in less than that if you really want to be greedy. If you're not watching, you can run it over in a hurry. Makes for very efficient hauling out of the corn for sure. Gets close, kind of shut the gate down a little bit. We're hauling down to our local CGB elevator. It's a river terminal, so they're loading barges right out there, send it down the river to the Gulf of Mexico and somewhere around the world from there.
You already know where I'm at. Well, my Mimius has been drank for a while now, and I've been working on the 4020 again. So I replaced 2 wires coming down out of this wiring harness. One of them was the actuator or whatever for the injection pump, and the other was for the oil pressure sensor here. And before, if the wire for the injection pump wasn't sitting in just the right place, it would not turn on. Listen real close right here. Now it is actually turning on properly, so I have accomplished my mission. Unfortunately, that involved the use of electrical tape and butt connectors, and I really don't like using those because they're not as strong as just running a whole new wire. But that's what I have to do because I don't have $1,000 sitting around to buy a brand new wiring harness for this thing. And I don't really want to either. Next up on the list is to get the battery and everything off, get the floor pan right here, get that taken out. And I'm going to take off the battery cables tonight so that I can take them to town tomorrow morning and have new ones made because these are shot, just like everything on this tractor. It seems like being out in Kansas for a while and just the wiring and the plastic being old is not doing it any favors, but we're going to get it fixed. Also, why can't the injection pump on a 404 be up here like it is on that engine? The blow-by tube is in the way. You can't. Why? I'm also going to replace this cable here for the parking brake to see if that helps it shift into park any better. This is what both of the wires going to that pump looked like, and that's probably why it didn't kick on all the time. It's been several hours now, and I successfully got the battery cables off, which took way longer than it should because it was way more complicated than it should be. Yeah. And apparently the parking brake cable that Dad went and got this week is not the right cable because it only has the bent thing with the hole in it for like a cotter pin on one side, not both like it should. So I'm currently a little bit frustrated, but it'll still be here tomorrow. I just won't get it done the way I want it right now. It'd be really nice if the injection pump on the 4020 was right here like it is on the 4320. And I want this style fuel filter. This is going to happen. It's 11:30, so I should probably go in for the night and save my frustration for tomorrow. Okay, now it's 7:45 the next morning, and I've got some new pep in my step to get this project done this weekend. And I'm gonna take these cables here to town and get those made new and replace the one wire that goes from the positive terminal on the battery to the starter solenoid, I think. I don't know, I could be wrong. Anyways, this should not take us that long, but it probably will because nothing ever goes right when I'm working on the 4020. I worked on the 4020 for another 2 hours and accomplished nothing. The shifting cable for the parking lever or whatever, yeah, we got the wrong one, and I found that out after I spent an hour and a half putting it on because I fought the thing the whole way. Whoever engineered that at John Deere in 1960 whatever, I hope that you feel bad, and I hope that you're minorly inconvenienced today. And I'm heading back to Side Stricker now to see if I can get the proper cable on the way and ask if there's a better way to put the cable on. Well, Side Stricker actually had the right air filter that I needed in stock, and of all things, the longest battery cable that goes from the positive terminal on one battery to the starter. So I got that replaced, but they had to order the other two cables, the one that goes across the batteries and the one that's the ground, and those will be here on Tuesday, along with the proper parking shifting lever. And so hopefully Rob can get that put on this week while I'm at school. And then this weekend, again, hopefully, this is a lot of hopefullys, but hopefully the tire place in town gets the new rims put on so it's not leaning off to the one side anymore. I took all the harnessing stuff for the baler monitor off, and I'm putting my planter monitor on so that I can run my 7,000 planter with this thing. Look at that view. I just love the Midwest, Northeast Missouri in particular. Columbia is all right, but you just don't get views like this down there. And I don't have you in Columbia either. We got a bolt here that doesn't want to come out, so we're going to use the old hot wrench here to make it come out. I had my goggles on upside down. Perfect. Slight fire hazard. Okay, now we're finally getting to changing the hydraulic oil in this thing. We're gonna just drop this oil and put some new oil in and new filters and check the screen, and hopefully we'll be good to go. Ooh, that's water. There's not that much water in there. I'm not worried at all. So we got the sump screen out of the tractor. I'm gonna drag this magnet across it to see if there's any transmission material. Looks like there's a little bit, but not too terribly much. Nothing like that was in the 4320.
A little bit probably normal.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, this ain't bad at all. We're good to go. Got a long ways to go until 14. However, better than doing it by hand with jugs. This morning I've got the hot water washer out and the hood off the 4020. We're gonna see if we can power through some of this repaint here and get down to the original, which is this stuff here. Well, I tried getting more paint off, but for whatever reason today it's just not happening. Also, I'm liking my HISEA Outdoors steel toe work boots. You can get yourself a pair. Couldn't get any paint washed off the side panels or the dash shroud or whatever. I did wash my truck off though. And we spilled some hydraulic oil on the back of the 8400 yesterday, so we're gonna have to wash that off as well. And yeah, the 8400 being pulled out of the shop last night on video was because we spilled a bunch of hydraulic oil on the back. We just wanted to get it outside. Oops. This has to be one of my favorite tractors to run because it sounds cool. I think I'm gonna move the 4320 out of the shop now. It's been living here for a while and I think it's done. Now, if the 730 doesn't start, I'm going to be upset because she always starts for me. All right, be good. I just had to take the 730 and my chisel plow over here to Grandpa's and drop off the chisel plow in the new space that we have to store things over here because we sold the vertical tillage tool. Grandpa was a little sad to see that go because that was his brainchild, but everything has a time and a place, and its time and place was over. All of a sudden, Dad stopped moving, and we realized that we're about to tear this off. That wouldn't have been good. All we're doing now is moving a couple things out of the other cold storage building so that we can put a couple things back in there. And we're gonna use the skid steer here to move some of it. I just wanted to flip one of these duals here for the 4320 over to check out the valve stems, which this one does have. But I also noticed that it's got a pretty good tear here in the actual tire part. So, not sure if it's gonna hold air. This other dual appears to have zero valve stem at all. Now we're just doing a little bit of a shed shuffle over here. Got the 4320 parked in here, the 7000, 8400, the case disc gripper, the 9570 RX, and the Kuhn Kraus ripper, field cultivator, 7430, 520, Salford, auger wagon, and then Dad's bringing in a combine. And also we're bringing in the 730 as well. The Goldinger Farms livestock division seems to be doing all right. Hey, can you go lay some eggs, please? Can you lay one that's made out of solid gold so I can pay off my 4020 and buy rims for it? Blech. Oh, funny story. So I was putting this planter monitor bracket and everything on last night, tightening these nuts up here. Wrench fell, never heard it hit the ground. I'm 99% sure there is now going to be a permanent half-inch wrench in here because I don't know how to get it out. Okay. So, quick recap of the weekend here in the shop. I didn't actually get anything done on 4020 other than tear everything apart so that someone else can get it done later this week, which will probably be Rob, because, again, I'm not going to be around because I have 3 or 4 tests this week that I haven't studied for and kind of stopped paying attention in class accidentally. Yeah, that's not going to go very well. The parking brake cable is going to go on, the battery cables, and hopefully then it'll be ready to go. And the rims, I might have something else in the works for. You just have to pray for me that I make the right decision. And the farmer step that the previous owners had kind of fabricated, which looks awesome, it wasn't very kind to this one bolt, and it actually broke off inside of the casting. So I'm probably gonna next weekend, well actually next week is spring break, but I'm probably gonna weld a nut that's smaller than the bolt onto it so that I can attempt to back it out. I hope that works, but also it might not, so never know. And I also got the hydraulic oil and the filters and everything changed. It's got 13 gallons of hydraulic oil in it right now. I'm waiting to put the last gallon in until I get it running, and I'll just check the level. Planter monitor's on, and now it's just a game of waiting. Well, it's early evening on a Sunday, and if you've been around for any length of time at all, you know what that means. Unfortunately, my time here at the farm is up, and Columbia's calling my name. I've got some homework to do and some tests to study for. It'd probably be to my benefit to get back to town tonight. But hey, thanks for watching this long. If you enjoyed it, you should subscribe. If you have a question, ask me in the comments. I'm a pretty open book. Like the video, share it to somebody, mom, dad, brother, sister, grandma, grandpa, little cousins, nieces, nephews, friends, any of the above. And thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all on the next one. Take care. Before I leave, though, I gotta say goodbye to the animals. I love you, May. You're a good puppy. Okay, so that actually wasn't the end of the video. I'm here at Bradford, and I was just told that I got to go spread fertilizer for the first time. So I'm kind of excited. This is going to be some of the, like, the little bit of field work that I have actually gotten to do here by myself. We're just spreading fertilizer on some ground that's going to soybeans because we have it left over, and why not? I've got guidance and a buggy full of fertilizer, so I think I'm good to go. The only bad thing is you have to use that red lever there to shut it off when you're at the end of the field. So we're supposed to go in C2 when we're spreading here, and it's 30 foot wide, so I split 6 rows on this side, 6 rows on that side. We're doing it. And we're about out. So this tractor here that I'm using is a John Deere 6400, 6410, something like that. And this is its main job, is putting on fertilizer in the spring and then throughout the season if they need it. She's a nice handling little tractor. Okay, now I think it's actually the end of the video.